in January, which was a Thursday, I remember vividly. I've come back from school and something just came in my mind. I was like, I think you are going through depression. I was like, this is a big word. How am I going to actually take it? So I sneaked myself, went on Google, typed depression, and all the signs and
Symptoms
symptoms
that you had.
were just matching up. Though I had not been formally diagnosed, but at the same time I was scared because no conversation I've heard anyone had in my household. I've not heard anyone within my community have that conversation for me to even go and ask questions.
As a typical Ghanaian in
Yep.
Ashanti, right?
Yep. We I'm a very curious person. I'm very adventurous from my infancy, but this one is hard for me to actually go out there and explore. And it was left with 2 days before I come to Ghana to prepare for the burial. You expect a miracle to just be conjured from heaven and it comes. But the miracle is the people who are surrounding us that we can speak to, who are professionals that we can go to for help, who are even our fellow Christians who one way or another can be able to signpost us. There's nothing wrong with praying when someone is actually sick or having challenges. But the question is, have they sought for professional help?
Exactly.
Because as we are actually sitting down and saying, let's pray, what about let's pray that God actually give us discernment to direct or signpost the person to the right people?
God, we should pray for God to give us discernment,
Yes.
to direct us to the right people.
Exactly. I live in Kumasi. When we were some of the first settlers in that area, and every time you were going to school early in the morning, you see someone chained in chairs, in trees. It's called
Human
prayer
beings
camp.
chained in chairs and
Yes.
in trees.
Yes.
Is it the second crucifixion of Jesus?
We wish, but God said, Jesus said, God actually sent His Son to come and die for us for once. But the people were being tagged with witchcraft, right? But when I grew up and learning about all these, I got to realize that there are some of the conditions that with old age, a typical example is when someone has, when it comes to mental health, I'll say it.
Sure.
It makes the person lose part of their memory, dementia.
Dementia, okay, yeah.
And it comes in old age, right? So if an older person starts to talk about maybe, oh, I need to go and visit that my friend. Meanwhile, the friend might have died and buried maybe 45 years ago. When you are in that household, what will tell you? You may think, is she okay? Is she going crazy? All these will start popping in your head. Hello everyone, my name is Kwame Osei Owusu. I'm a clinical pharmacist, podcaster, speaker, and mental health advocate. I am the founder and the host of The Shelf Conversation. It is a podcast which has been founded to be able for us to be able to have conversations about mental health, to be able to destigmatize it and through education, and also be able to help link how mental health of people is not just affected by any form of illness, but is also an effect of society and also some of the choices that they make in life. So that is the platform that I've dedicated for such conversations to go on, to be able to have people such as psychiatrists, pharmacists, nurses, and financial people, and even advocates as well, for us to be able to bring solutions on board on how we will be able to tackle the stigmatism and even the public health side of mental health. So if you're listening to the spotlight, make sure that you continue listening because we are all in the spotlight. And today I'm in the seat and the lights are on me. So make sure you listen. Thank you.
Welcome to the Spotlight Show. And I think you've already watched the introduction of my guest. He is Kwame.
Yes.
Kwame, You're looking good.
Thank you very much.
Actually, this is my very first time seeing you not looking too formal. Okay,
I had
so
to just switch it up.
was that the reason why you had to change?
Yeah, I had to switch it up a little
Yeah.
bit because I think the formal look is a brand that's been tagged with me, which is nothing wrong with it. But some people thought that I'm actually one way. But I have to actually let them know that I've got all these in my closet.
Exactly.
But it's actually hot in Ghana and I cannot be stuck in the suit and tie. I have to just
I know.
And it's a Sunday evening as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I have to just dress down a little bit.
You look good.
Thank you very much.
So tell me, why mental health? Why did you choose this career path?
I chose this career path because it is actually birthed out of an experience that I personally had. And in 2014, when I actually heard the death of my granddad, it was something that was hard to actually cope with because he's the man who raised me. I was raised by my granddad, and my mom had actually left the country at a very early age in my life. So my extended family, my granddad, my grandmom, my aunties, my cousins, these are the people that I knew. I was the only one from my mom's children who was born here in Ghana. So these are my family. So I've never lost anyone like that in that house. So when I heard about it, that was when I moved to the UK. It was very sad, and I didn't know what I was going through at that point. All that I knew was that my emotions was very loose, that anything little, anytime that I'm sitting there and it dawns on me that my granddad is gone, tears will start flowing, regardless of where I find myself, be it in school, on the bus, on the train, at home. And I was doing it silently as well because I have not been taught how to grieve, and I didn't even know whether my emotions were even valid. So this has been going on. This happened in September. It's been going on as far as to January, right? Okay. So September 2014 to January 2015. But it was one evening in January, which was a Thursday. I remember vividly. I've come back from school, and something just came in my mind. I was like, I think you are going through depression. I was like, this is a big word. How am I going to actually take it? So I sneaked myself, went on Google, typed depression, and all the signs and symptoms
that you had
were just matching up. Though I had not been formally diagnosed, but at the same time I was scared because no conversation I've heard anyone had in my household. I've not heard anyone within my community have that conversation for me to even go and ask questions.
As a typical Ghanaian and Ashanti, right?
Yep. I'm a very curious person. I'm very adventurous from my infancy, but this one is hard for me to actually go out there and explore. And it was left with 2 days before I come to Ghana to prepare for the burial. Came to Ghana, everything was fine, because family's around. Because at that time I felt very, very lonely. Family's around. So gradually I felt myself. We went through the burial and everything. It was time for me to come back to the UK. When I came back, I started to feel that sign of loneliness coming back. So one of the things I quickly did, immediately I dropped my bags in the house. I took a night flight. So I arrived in the UK in the morning. So immediately I arrived home, I dropped my stuff. Instead of me resting, I quickly just showered and changed into my school clothes. Went straight to school.
No rest.
No rest because I cannot be by myself. I don't know what's going to happen. So I went to school. I was there with my colleagues. Everything was fine. But I realized that I still cannot be by myself. That very day I arrived, that was the very evening that one of my old colleagues has also passed. He's been stabbed to death, right? And the timeline of all my colleagues on social media, they're just posting this, my friend. I was like, my colleague, is this his birthday? Clearly not. So why is everybody posting? Started asking a lot of questions, people. I was DMing people, no one was answering on Saturday. So on the Sunday evening, that was when I reached out to one of our other colleagues. I was like, I've seen a lot of people posting him. Clearly it's not his birthday. What's wrong? He was like, have you read about the stabbing incident in this place? And I was like, yes. And I was like, then it's him. I was like, Jesus Christ. Because I spent the whole of the Saturday reading in depth because that stabbing incident was closer to home, was closer in my area.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when you have heard these kind of incidents over and over and you never thought for once that it's going to happen to someone
you only
closer.
close, yeah.
So went to school, and on that Monday, the whole mood in the school is down. We could see all of our colleagues down. Those who were crying. Those who couldn't come. So around that time, I was like, I left grief, went to grief, I'm back, and this atmosphere, I'm finding myself again, another grief.
Very, very depressing.
So around that time, we got evicted from our house as well. My mom has come back from Ghana, we got evicted. So when these kind of other events started happening, I was like, everything has started. Life is now taking a different trajectory, so I just need to just brave it. I never talked about it. So throughout the whole 2015, 2016, never talked about it. 2017, went to uni. 2016 I went to uni, but 2017 was when I chanced on an interview on KSM.
Okay.
So KSM, actually, I'm a very avid follower of KSM show because he brings a lot of these people I've always wanted to hear their story on there, and I learned a lot from them. So this very moment, I chanced on the interview of Abna Koko, and I was interested because her incident happened in 2015 when she was vying to become an SRC for UCC, and when all these media backlash actually started for her trying to get public attention, and she got disqualified. She would have been the first female SRC president for UCC. So when that happened and she came out on this show, I was listening, and one of the lines that she dropped, that incident that happened, it was not something that she could control because she had undiagnosed bipolar.
Okay.
And that made sense because that time she was in a manic state. And when someone is in their manic state or hypermanic state, they believe they can jump from this building down. Nothing will happen to them. Spider-Man. So that incident that the media gave her or were backlashing her was as a result of her having an undiagnosed mental health condition. So when I heard her story, something dawned on me because that very moment I heard her story, I was in second year uni and I've done my, I was doing my mental health module and I've gone for a placement. So when I went to the mental health hospital, something dawned on me that I think I can find a career in this. Because initially I wanted to study medicine and I wanted to be a cardiologist. That was the space. Because all the time I'm trying to actually find an untapped space because I always don't want to be replicating what someone has already done. If there are more cardiologists or there are more psychiatrists or mental health pharmacists in the space, I don't want to be. I want to actually find a problem, take time, follow through, and be able to provide the solutions or be the go-to person or a consultant. So when it didn't happen for medicine and I came into pharmacy, I'm like, the search is on. Because when I checked the number of cases of mental health challenges in even the Black community in London and even here in Ghana, I realized that no one is talking about it much. And even during that time on social media, no one was doing it. So that actually gave me that kind of mission. Started actually on Instagram, posting on my own story, my timeline. And at that time, bear in mind, no one knows what I've gone through in 2014, 2015. Not even my family members. I've brushed it off. I've moved on. But when I heard Abna Koko's story and I knew that I've gone through it, it's time for me to actually start using it because she's a very intelligent young lady. And all these have happened as a result of one undiagnosed condition. Then in 2018, someone close to me have actually started showing these kind of signs and symptoms. And from my perspective, I could see what's happening. But again, coming from an African community, who are you to go and actually give someone a diagnosis? I was in second year. I was not even a professional. So how to even tackle that conversation was hard for me. But God has got his own ways in doing stuff. I had a true dream that I think this person is experiencing this.
Oh, you had a dream about the person?
I had a dream about the person. God vividly told me that He didn't tell me the condition, but he told me that this is what the person is experiencing. So I had that dream and I woke up from the dream. That time too, I was experiencing, it was 2018. I've also lost my cousin at the beginning of the year. That was 5th January 2020, sorry, 5th January 2015. Sorry, I'm 5th January 2018. And it was the same time that the person closer to me is experiencing this condition, right? So I had to even cut off from my grief of my cousin to quickly just jump on board. So the person was not going straight. It's like, have this person told you this, that? I was like, no one has told me anything. I've just been given indication that you said you're having a headache. And that was it. So when I started, my mind started just wondering what's going on. So when I had the dream, I only told one person. And when I told him, he says, bro, you said God told you, right? I said, yes, I had a dream and God told me this. He says, if God told you, the same way that God always actually gets people like Moses to go and free his people from the Israelites from the hands of the Egyptians, that's the same way that he's going to lead you to know how to break this conversation. So let that confidence, I was like, God. So we were on the train, I started drafting message because at that point in time, one of the family members have given themselves the opportunity that I could actually contact if anything happened.
Yeah.
So I sent it. I was like, God, I don't know how this is going to go, but if you truly are the one who has sent me this, I don't want any backlash. I sent it. Later on in the evening, the person's family member actually called me and was like, we have actually seen these signs. So you're right.
Oh.
I was like, God, I'm just a second year student. And I've started actually being able to actually give these kind of stuff. So right now, the next step is what actually is going on with the person. Because there's not been any diagnosis come. They are yet to. And the way when it comes to mental health diagnosis, the way they go about it is you have to go through a diagnostic assessment. So they don't just straight away tell you what it is. So the assessment has been done. Because of confidentiality and privacy, I didn't want to be popping my nose. I just wanted to know. Then I got the information. This is the medication this person is taking. And that medication...
She was already on meds?
No, has just been started on meds.
Okay.
But the diagnosis, they have not been told what actually the diagnosis is.
Okay.
So if through the medication that's been given, I can work out what condition has been diagnosed. So I have to actually get into my research mode, sat down, pick the medication.
Still in level 200?
Yeah, I was still in level 200. That's how they call it here in Ghana.
Yeah.
But over there, they will say second year.
Second year, yeah.
Yeah. I picked the medication up, started actually searching. By God's grace, I've not got availed herself because I followed her story and she's an advocate. I reached out to her again on Instagram. I said, this is the medication. Tell me about it. And it's like, I think she told me that she has taken that medication before. No, she didn't say, she didn't talk about the medication. But she told me that these are the signs of when someone is being diagnosed with bipolar. This is what you should be expecting. But I sat down and I said, I'm not seeing these kind of signs. They are actually overlapping. So let me do a further research. Then I looked at the other indication of the medication. So I was contemplating. That time I was supposed to go to the library and go and do my own studies. But this thing has become a burden and I have to actually do the research. So when I had the Eureka moment, I wanted to call the person's family member who has availed herself to actually me be able to contact. And they were actually at an event, so I cannot break such a news. So on the Monday, I actually got a call from the person like, oh, what did you find? And I said this. I said the condition that I have found. I was like, no, like, God forbid, it's not that. I know people who can. I was like, okay, I'm just being a messenger. I'm just being a scientist. I'm just being that pharmacy student who have found something. I'm not in one way or another forcing on you to accept it. But this is what I found. Yeah. So if there's anything that you guys need any answers, I'm here available. Lo and behold, later on, the person actually showed me the report of what I was like, so it means I was right.
Oh, okay.
I was right. So through these, it made me realize how sometimes stigma actually makes people shy away from seeking help. And they've just been dealing with it behind closed doors. And sometimes some of the advices you'll be getting are the weirdest advices. Everyone becomes a doctor all of a
I'm
sudden,
telling you.
and they'll be prescribing the medication because I cannot say some of these kind of stuff, but behind the scenes, some of the stuff I was hearing, oh, take this hair, take the person to this place, take her there, there's this person. I was like, Jesus Christ. And these are some of the recommendations I'm making that if it was them, they will not even take the person there. So I made it a point that no, I think I need to actually be the person who put himself as that kind of pillar or sacrificial lamb to make himself available, to be able to speak about this openly, for us to stop hiding this conversation under the carpet. Because the same way someone can openly talk about their diabetes, that is how someone should be able to openly talk about their diagnosis with a mental health challenge.
Yeah.
Because medication, a condition itself has brought a burden on the person.
Yeah.
Because they didn't choose to actually be in that space.
Mhm.
So for us to be able to let the person feel themselves, feel they are welcome, we need to be able to create that kind of arena that we can have this conversation
Yeah.
so that the person feel the relief
Mm.
that they are not shy from taking this medication in public. Because I believe a lot of people who take insulin injection are not going to be shy. But back in the days, they were really, really shy to the point that they thought they're going to be expelled from their workplace if they're seen taking insulin, because they felt like if someone has got diabetes, they've got a very low life expectancy. Meanwhile, my mom is a type 2 diabetic and she takes a medication. It's open. Everybody knows about it. That even inspired me to even become a pharmacist, right? So imagine my mom was just hiding and was not open to tell us about these. We wouldn't know, because when my mom had diabetes, we are one way or another could become predisposed to it, because it was through pregnancy that she had diabetes. So imagine she didn't tell us and we didn't know anything about it. We wouldn't have known, but all of us has been tested and none of myself or my brothers are diabetic, right? So all these kind of information or lack of information and lack of conversation push me to make myself available to actually take a career and advocacy.
The inspiration is so much. So from you, from your mom, and then from the demise of your colleague, your uncle. Wow. But statistically, okay, men and women, which sex actually have the highest mental health conditions?
It's hard to say it, but research has shown that women actually go through it a lot. Because think about it this way. We all actually go through, our hormones actually determine a lot of stuff. But with women, it becomes so much apparent. Because a woman even experiencing her monthly flow could be depressed. Because some of them, if it's their first time and their body is going through those changes, they don't know how their emotions, what is taking them through. No one understands them, right? However, research actually shows that women are able to get the help and the support. Why? Because they're able to showcase their emotions, their true emotions.
They speak about
it.
Out loud.
So they're able to actually get the help. However,
the men internalize it.
We internalize it.
On that note, let's go for a commercial break. It's getting more interesting. We shall be right back. Daniela, your host, The Spotlight Show. Viewers and listeners, welcome to The Spotlight Show. Do not forget to like
and subscribe.
Like
and subscribe.
The Spotlight Show.
Viewers and listeners, you're welcome back, and let's just jump right in. So men go through a lot of mental health issues as compared to women.
Yes.
Why do you think so?
It's because of societal pressures, because society has made it very difficult for a lot of men to open up, because they believe that a man opening up about his mental health or the challenges that he experienced with his mental health is a form of weakness. But they don't know that is a form of strength, because it's only a strong person who will be able to identify his weakness to find the support that he needs. Society believes that men don't cry, which in our local dialect in Chi, they would say "bemensu." We hear these kind of stuff. It used to be a form of encouragement, but right now it's now more of taking the voice of a man to express himself. Sometimes they even say that "bema de onkasa." They want a man to actually have fewer words, leave the talking to the woman. So it makes a man actually sigh rather than speak. He'll be like, he will not speak. We've seen a lot of men, instead of talking about their mental health issues, it has been bottled to the point that they've started developing anger issues. And that anger issue actually is brought into their family. The family that they need to be protecting, they'll be fighting against the family. And it leads to a lot of abuse in the household. And if a child grows up in such a home, they may think that is the norm. Some of them also end up resorting to alcohol and start with alcoholism because they believe that that is a way of making their pain less painful, or trying to actually suppress it. Let me put it that way. They tend to do that. Some of them also take substances, which also got its consequences. Some of them actually go to the point that they can't take it any longer and they take their lives. So all these stuff I've mentioned has been a way of some men dealing with challenges with their mental health, which none of them has been able to give the appropriate solution. So going forward, I have actually been a big advocate of it, that as a man, we need to be able to speak about our problems. We need to be able to find ways, women, we need to be able to find ways and means of listening to our husband. If a man does not talk much, or your husband does not talk much, don't leave it, or your man does not talk much. Don't end up concluding by saying that, oh, he's just like that, he doesn't talk. He might have a lot to say, but the avenue has not been created for him to say. And some of them end up channel it in a wrongful way, because they've bottled it to the point that they can't take it any longer. This has contributed to a lot of men actually having this kind of toll on their mental health, be it a father, be it a male. Most of the time, the fathers are the ones who tend to actually showcase that there's something wrong, but they can't speak about it. And some people tend to actually ask, but he's finished having his children, he's finished having his family, so what is there for him to think about? But people forget that a parent, so far as you're alive, and even your children have even got children, and you're even a granddad, you're still a parent.
Yeah.
It doesn't switch off, right? And all this while, he might be thinking about it. He might be uncomfortable about something, but finds it very difficult to talk about it because he does not want it to be an argument, right?
The thing is, the men think when they open up to the women, let's say, let's channel it to the institution of marriage. So the man feels that when he opens up to the wife is going to exaggerate it and use it against him, or probably, talk too much. But forgetting that if you are my husband, okay, and then you are telling me something that is bothering you, your border tends to be my border.
Yep.
So here's the case that if you are going through any form of mental health and then you open up to me, now the two of us are going through the mental health.
Exactly.
You understand? So my way of actually helping is to open up, to tell you what to do, to help you. But at the end of the day, you the men will think that, oh, she's talking too much. She's talking too much. Meanwhile, that's the way the woman is also trying to what? To help.
Help. It's true.
So I think sometimes you, the men, are to really be blamed in terms of your ego.
The ego, I was about to come to that bit. Men are naturally born with ego. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Every man, every single man, they cannot count themselves out. Even if they are there. Whenever we make mention of ego, people think it's pride.
No. There's a difference between ego and pride.
Ego is what we carry. Pride is you showing it to the people that this is what I've got.
Good.
Because a man's ego is no one, even if it's a male counterpart or a female counterpart, no one can speak against them, right? That kind of authoritative kind of mindset is always there. So if someone steps within their territory and shuts it down, you've kept them quiet.
Yeah.
For example, they're about to talk about something really bothering them, and either their female colleague, their wife or their girlfriend, or whichever situation that they find themselves in, the woman is not ready to listen. So, okay, then let me keep my mouth shut. Because you are the person that maybe I trusted that I could open up. And it takes a lot for a man to open up. So the moment that he decides to open up and there is no listening ear, then he will figure his stuff by himself. And by figuring it out, he might do it the hardest way. And it might be too late. And he'll come back and say that, but I was willing to speak about it, but you were not.
Yeah.
But if in this first instance, he has been given the opportunity to speak out about that experience, maybe the solution would have come earlier than he resorted. Because if he goes out, it's not all his friends who are going to give him that good advice. It would take someone who might have experienced it or someone who might have had a good knowledge about it to be able to give him a sound advice. But the other way around, if it's another friend who doesn't have any clue and is not here to help you, he will destroy your marriage.
Yeah.
He will destroy your relationship. Oh, there are plenty of fishes in the sea. Go out and find one. Why are you stuck with this one woman?
Yeah.
All these kind of advice, or maybe, you know what, take this medication, take this alcohol, take this drug. It's going to actually help you. You have to be a man. You have to be strong. You know, then that actually turned that man who has been so quiet to become an abusive husband or abusive man because he believes his wife is not listening to him. Therefore, he needs to force himself to create that monster in him to get everyone to be afraid of.
Yeah.
So all these kind of issues, if their mental health is not taken into account, some of these kind of marital issues or even issues at home could be as a result of that.
Okay, so divorce and all that.
Yes. I've not married before, but from some of the cases that I hear people presenting, you could see an element of there was a lack of listening ear somewhere.
Either from the
wife
woman or the
from the man.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Okay.
Because some men also can go to the point of ignoring their wives' mental health as well.
Yeah.
And one thing is, if someone screams loud enough and no one actually hears it, the screaming becomes a normal tone.
I like that.
It becomes, as time goes on, it becomes deafening, and no one actually hears that sound any longer. And that is how it actually brings the cracks in, and it might be too late. Because once the person have psyched their mind that you have not been there for them, and they made the decision that they want to step out of the relationship or step out of the marriage, there's nothing that will bring them back. So it's really, really important that whichever form of shift that you find yourself, you need to actually listen to, be it friendship, be it relationship. Once
all
that
the
friend,
ships.
all the ships.
Even including the situationships.
Because you don't want to let the ship start sinking.
Yeah.
That's when you want to actually jump in. The weight of the water would have actually drawn you already, and it wouldn't have actually helped.
So Kwame, let's come to our Christian community.
Yes.
Here's a case that sometimes a pastor or a Christian brother or a Christian sister can actually see that, Charlie, how this guy is going, or how this lady is going, this person may probably be battling with mental health. And then probably the person also gets the courage to talk to you. Oh, my dear sister, let us pray. Let us give it to God. So now, faith, mental health, within the circle of Christianity, how do we deal with it?
Faith and culture are two things that you can never deal away with as humans. Sociologists will tell you that it's part of society. In fact, it is what defines us from where we are coming from the confines of our society. Because the first thing, when you actually step outside Ghana, people will ask you, oh, where are you from? Ghanaian, right? if you find yourself in a Christian community, oh, are you Christian?
Mm.
Oh, which church do you go to? All these, you've been identified, one, as Ghanaian,
Mm.
maybe based on how you present yourself, or even based on your name, it's been able to define you.
Mm.
The next question is, are you a Christian? Faith have always defined us as humans, right? But one thing that we always forget about, even the Bible, inside the Bible, there were some powerful men of God who battled with mental health.
Mm.
Job is one of those people
Oh my God.
because he cursed himself the day that he was born when he was going through all these afflictions.
Job
of wounds.
suffered though.
He suffered.
Hey.
He suffered, right? Another person who really, really suffered that we don't talk much about, we can talk about Abraham.
Please speak about Daniel in that lion's den. It was
Daniel
it was some serious mental health that
Daniel,
he went through.
Daniel actually went through it as well. All these people, they were humans,
Yeah.
right? God actually took them through it. Maybe at that time, there was no person to actually talk about what we are talking about today. But God has actually blessed us with certain people or certain professionals within our current society to be able to talk about it. For someone to get into the lion's den and come out safely,
Mhm.
in this particular time, it might be a miracle.
Yeah, it is a miracle.
It is a miracle, right? So why are we expecting that kind of miracle to happen in our society right now? Meanwhile, there are so many people within that space who are even Christians who can help us. Because sometimes we expect the miracle to just be conjured from heaven and it comes. But the miracle is the people who are surrounding us that we can speak to, who are professionals that we can go to for help, who are even our fellow Christians who one way or another can be able to signpost us.
Mm.
There's nothing wrong with praying when someone is actually sick or having challenges. But the question is, have they sought for professional help?
Exactly.
Because as we are actually sitting down and saying, let's pray, what about let's pray that God actually give us the discernment to direct or signpost the person to the right
That is
people?
it. God, we should pray for God to give us a discernment,
Yes,
to direct us to the right people.
exactly.
Mm.
Because if we are only praying for God to heal the person, it's good. It's fantastic. But it's not the only avenue. We need to actually ask the person, have you consulted a medical advice? Have you seen the pharmacist? Is there anything that we can help? Is there anything that someone can actually identify that could be contributing to this? All these, by identifying the root cause of the problem, it can help. It's all part of the miracles God wants to do.
So not everything is spiritual.
It's not everything that is actually spiritual. And even if it's spiritual, it's manifesting in the physical realm.
Mhm.
So as we are treating the physical realm, we need to also spiritually be praying for the person.
Yeah.
So as the person is waiting for diagnosis or is being diagnosed and is being given the medication, we need to be praying that that medication works in managing the signs and symptoms that the person is actually going through. People, right now, there is, I think in 2023,
Mhm.
I remember I had this conversation with one of my friends. She is actually a pastor's wife, so because she's actually a church leader,
Okay.
and from the Church of Pentecost she's now in Newcastle, and she was like that time she was they were in Manchester, and says right now the church has started providing psychological training for any leader in the church. Why? Because if something happens, we know that these are the people that the church members will consult for the first time, or they'll be the first point of contact. So if the person is psychologically trained, what they're going to actually do is they'll be able to assist the person well. Not just prayers that they're going to, but they'll be able to signpost the avenues at where they're going to be able to help the person psychologically. So if that is actually in place, then we mean that these people are safe, because your pastor will be able to showcase or tell you that I think you need to go and see your GP, which is a general practitioner, or go and see the pharmacist. They know where to signpost you in order not to actually worsen what you're going through already. Because if we resort to prayers only and the prayer doesn't help and it makes it worse, what do you think you are telling the person? The person can automatically lose their faith because they will start questioning the existence of God.
God, yeah.
But as it stands, no one actually fully understands
Mhm.
God.
Mhm.
He only actually showcases or he lets us know what he wants us to know.
Mhm.
So if that's the case, let the person know that there's nothing wrong to go and seek medical help or advice.
Mm.
There's nothing wrong going as a Christian, going for therapy. That does not make God less.
Yeah.
It makes you as a human being even stronger.
Mm.
Prayers are powerful, but at the same time, we need to also utilize the medical support available within us, because I believe that if someone is actually in labor, we were not going to say that let's pray and the baby will come out. They will seek,
Yeah.
they'll take the person to the theater, the
Mm.
gynecologists, the surgeons, the
Yeah.
midwives. They have to come in to help the person out of labor. And in the other room, in the upper room, you'll see people praying to help the person have a safe delivery. That's the same way we need to treat any other conditions. There might be some of the conditions that the doctors might make all the diagnosis, and they'll be the ones that will come and tell you, do you believe in God?
Mm.
Okay, if you believe in God, I think it's high time you need to start letting your church start praying.
Mm.
Meanwhile, maybe your church has started praying.
Long time ago.
So by the doctor stepping in, they're not saying that medical support is not going to help, but they believe they've done everything within their confines. Right now, I think it's in a different realm. Only God has to intervene.
Mm.
So this is how we can actually treat it, to be able to help people to feel less of themselves as Christians when they start to battle with their mental health. Because growing up, there is a church closer to my house where I live in Kumasi. When we were some of the first settlers in that area, and every time you were going to school early in the morning, you see someone chained in chairs, in trees. It's called
Human
prayer
beings chained
camp.
in chairs and
Yes.
in trees.
Yes. Because
Is it the second crucifixion of Jesus?
we wish, but Jesus said, God
Because I
actually
don't
sent his
get.
son to come and die for us for
Yeah.
once. But the people were being tagged with witchcraft, right? But when I grew up and learning about all these, I got to realize that there are some of the conditions that with old age, a typical example is when someone has, what's the name of this condition? When it comes to mind, I'll say it.
Sure.
It makes the person lose part of their memory,
Mm.
dementia.
Dementia. Okay. Yeah.
And it comes in old age, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if an older person starts to talk about maybe, oh, I need to go and visit that my friend. Meanwhile, the friend might have died and buried maybe 45 years ago.
Mm.
When you're in that household, what will tell you? You may think, is she okay? Is she going crazy?
Mm.
All these will start popping in your head. But because no one has actually realized, maybe she might be experiencing dementia. I got first-hand experience of seeing someone with dementia when I used to work with young people, and one of the young people opened up about her grandmom's dementia, whereby she's come to London for holidays and she's having these signs. And she was like, oh, tonight I need to go to a pie. Pie with who? Oh, that my friend. That friend is dead and buried
Died
45 years
long time
ago. But guess what? Some of them were being tagged as witchcraft, right? But it was dementia. So seeing this, I'm not saying that witchcraft doesn't exist. It does exist.
Yeah, it
But
does. Very
the
much.
thing is, we were so clued on just one thing,
Yeah.
and we were not looking at the external. Some people have even gone to even apologize to their grandmoms and their granddad that, oh, we were told that you were this, but now that I've gone to study this. Or even some of them, they don't get the opportunity to even apologize to them. It was later on, they read about this and they realize that
it wasn't my grandma.
it wasn't my grandma.
That was doing me.
It was because someone actually made me believe it. So
Yeah.
as Christians, discerning is also really, really important. And also all these, that's why with me, right now, I've started going to churches and start speaking to them about these. Because speaking about the word in the church is fantastic. But we need to understand the society that we are growing up in, that there are certain things, it's high time that we need to let the church members know more about it so that they are able to easily understand what's going on and be able to support the person. Because even the Bible even says is that for the lack of knowledge, my people do perish. So we need to make sure this knowledge is there. We need to actually end up getting the people to be exposed to it. They should know the Bible. They should know about these kind of conditions, which some churches have already started doing, whereby some Sundays, instead of preaching, they bring a health consultant to come in, because that Sunday, if you tell them to come Monday or Tuesday, everybody has got work. But that Sunday, everybody will come to church and they will be able to share the knowledge. So by the time they leave the church, if, let's say, the pastor even or a church leader takes the pulpit and is exhibiting certain character, there might be someone within the congregation who will be able to pinpoint and be able to actually help this kind of leader. This is the kind of society we want to be in, that we are a society that is we are everybody's brother's keeper. Let me put it that way, that we are looking out for each other. That if today I go out there, God forbid, and someone actually is experiencing a cardiac arrest, I should be able to know how to be able to help them initially before the ambulance come, i.e. the CPR, all of those, to be able to bring them back to life. All these are necessities. To me, I call it the basic life skills that we need to start including, that people are able to identify and help others. So in the Christian settings, we could adapt to this to ensure that, yes, we are being served with the word of God, but we are also being served with the knowledge from what God has given another person for us all to be protected.
Yeah. And you see, Kwame, in this world, or in this age and generation that we are in now, I'm infused with a lot of quote-unquote vulgar, or a lot of songs mixed with other emotions and all that. So are you of the school of thought that the kind of music that you listen to can actually affect your mental health?
100%. I'll give an example. There was this artist here in Ghana. I remember before I went to bed, there was this song that was playing. I think it was on my iPad or something, and I fell asleep. The kind of dream I had.
Oh my God. Please say it again. Vampires and zombies.
Till date, when that song comes on, I told the people, please switch that music off. I don't want to hear it. It drained my emotion. I woke up and I was so scared. I was scared to the point that the dream wasn't good and the interpretation of the dream was not great either, right?
All because of one song.
Because of that one song. Because that song was a sad song. And that song, the person played because he lost his girlfriend at a very early age. So when I listened to that song, it drew me back to the demise of my cousin. And in that dream, it's like my cousin has passed away, but I don't want them to bury my cousin. It's like I want to bring her back to life. I want to preserve. So when I woke up, I was like, Jesus Christ. It really, really messed up my whole day. It took almost about 3. I even felt sick. Yeah.
Oh, you don't say?
Yeah, I felt sick. So
because of one song.
So to date, I can't listen. I love the art. The artist is doing fantastic. He's doing amazing. But that song, no one can play that song around me. To date, I can't. Because I know where it put me in. So songs can have an effect. Recently, there was this song that came. It's by a lady called Dochi, and it's talking about anxiety, right?
Oh,
you know that song, right? And a lot of people were not actually, especially the young people, they were not listening to the lyrics of the song. Someone is talking about her anxiety and what she's going through. But meanwhile, you have not experienced any anxiety, but you are calling this upon yourself. What do you think the next moment is going to happen to you? You don't know what the message is carrying, and it will have an effect, you know. And right now, they make it so catchy that you can't ignore it. People have made it their story. They've made it their story, their post song, everywhere, even to the point that the media projects it. That you go on the radio, they are playing it. You
TikTok,
can't dodge it.
Playing it. Everywhere.
You get what I'm trying to say? So it was one of those, and I said, They are doing that for a reason, because the more they make it catchy, the more that you yourself will fall in love in that song. And one moment you go on YouTube, you type it, and you'll be dancing to it, you'll be shaking your head, and all of those. So there's
to anxiety song.
Exactly. So there are certain things that we might be playing with. Artists, and that's why they say music is spiritual.
Yeah, it is.
Music is spiritual to the point that we don't know the space that the artists found themselves to sing that song. Let me bring it into our Christian circles. There are certain songs that you hear. I would say, I'll give him a shout out. One of my favorite gospel artists, Sonny Badu.
Yeah.
Sonny Badu, he even knows it. Like, I've met Sonny Badu. Like, the day that I saw him, I was actually trembling, because that song, Baba.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I was
Open the floodgates.
I thought I was just singing a song. So one day, when I went to London, because he was based in London, right next based in the US. So I actually I was in the class, I was in the religious and moral education class. And the teacher, because he was like, Kwame, you've just been scoring higher scores, so today we give you the opportunity. No, we were doing, that was one of the reasons, but we were finished our work early. It's like, okay, today I'm just going to give you guys any song that you want. The first thing I said, I was like, type in Baba by Sonny Badu. I was like, I just typed it, they just typed in. Everybody loved the song. And I told my mom the day that I met Sonny Badu, but the day that I met Sonny Badu, I froze. I couldn't. I met him in person.
Sonny Badu, Emmanuel, my Jennifer is a very good friend of Sonny
Badu. Yeah. So I actually froze, but once in a while, I actually faint. I remember when this whole YouTube, when it actually sums up all the songs, and Sonny Badu was stopping, and it was like, but I've not released any song in ages. I was like, you don't know the power in your song.
That song is very, I think, way back.
It is.
I was very young.
Before Sinach song, Waymaker.
Yeah.
He was the highest listened African song ever. And before they actually made different versions of Sinach Waymaker, Baba had different versions on. Everybody was singing it. It was different renditions of it. That is the power that it takes. My other favorite gospel artist, Joe Mettle, Dana Hamilton. Dana Hamilton, if I don't mention the name because she's based in London.
Yeah.
Dana Hamilton, gone to their concerts. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to Joe Mettle's concerts today.
It's today.
Yeah. MOG,
yeah,
which I'm going to his concert. All these environments make you be filled. And Emmanuel Smith as well, Emmanuel Gemfi.
Yeah.
It makes you, and Afi David, the names keep on coming on. Like, it makes you be filled with something positive. I have this kind of rule that I cannot start my day with any other song apart from a gospel song.
Have you ever had this experience whereby the first song that you hear in the morning, it keeps on resonating in your spirit? I don't know. Have you gotten that experience before?
You will be even at work and it starts, the lyrics will start coming. I was like, what's happening?
You see, I'm of course I'm a Christian, so and then I'm of the school of thought that what you listen to.
Yeah.
And it got some time, I think some few years, no, not years, months or weeks ago, there was a song that was released, a secular song. Everywhere I go on social media, it's playing. Somebody is dancing to it, somebody is doing a skit with it. And one day I was talking to a friend of mine, and I think he said something, a key word
in that song.
And I was singing the song. He was like, hey, Daniela. You see, and now let's go for a commercial break.
Hello everyone, this is Kwame Osei Owusu. I was just a guest on the Spotlight Show, and please keep listening to the Spotlight Show because we are all in the spotlight. But the moment you sit in this chair, there are some lights which are special over here. It's just thrown on you and you will say everything. I would like you to listen because it is a Christian platform that is here for us all to be able to share our experience with growth and also to be able to help other people to grow as well, because we all want to see growth within our Christian space. So why don't you pause, subscribe, in fact share to be able to let other people, and follow all their social media pages and follow on YouTube as well. and leave the comments because it's really, really important and it will help this platform to grow. And I love the conversation I had with Daniela. I can't wait to come back. Thank you.
Action.
So there's a statistics that came recently, and they said that for every generation, the current generation is always smarter than the previous generation. But shockingly, this current generation is not. It says their IQ is dropping lower and lower.
Computer babies.
Yes. People, we may think that, oh, it's a new generation, it's a new stuff. But no. When it comes to the measure of intelligence quotient, it's not about the generation, it's about how we utilize our brain. So he was like, we need to start even putting restrictions of AI.
Yeah.
AI should not be exposed to these kids. We need to start thinking of how to use our brain and other parts of our body to be able to do certain tasks rather than relying on technology. Technology is going to help you, however, it might end up taking the jobs.
Yeah.
Calculator came, but right now, there are certain times that if I don't have calculator, I can still go and do my long division, my multiplication, my addition, right? But if the generation were just giving calculators, without calculator, they will start suffering. They will start to cry. So all these have effects on these young people's mental health because the exposure of information, I believe there is an influx of information. We are now in a generation or in a time of information overload. And you cannot actually overload your brain. There needs to come a time whereby, your brain needs to actually be able to use the information that you've got to be able to solve the problem, not to solve the problem for you.
When somebody is when somebody collapses or somebody gets drowned, we take the person out of the pool or whatever, and we give the person CPR. What is the CPR for mental health?
The CPR,
you get it? Yeah.
The CPR for mental health is we need to avoid stigmatism.
Okay.
We need to change our language about mental health challenges. We need to open ourselves for people to speak to us, right? Because I believe that's what's going to give us life. Because CPR brings people life. Because we are bringing life into someone by breathing with our breath.
Yeah.
That's the same way that if someone is going through difficult moments and they have someone to speak to who will be able to be trusted, not just spoken to, because some people, you speak to them, your incarnation, by the time you reach cantonment, it's already there. You can't trust such people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have to also know the people around us. Do we know them well? Do we know who you're going to consult when something goes wrong? The same way that we have actually got emergency kits in our car. If something goes wrong, we are able to access, if we get a cut, we are able to get the plaster, dressings, and everything. That's the same way that in life, if any challenges happens, do we know who to open up to? If we don't, then we need to start thinking about the people we need to start opening up to. Because with me, I haven't got a bigger friendship group. However, I know who to contact for every form of advice.
Yeah.
If it comes to business, I know who to go to because I've got one of my friends who is deep-rooted in economics. I know who to go to when it comes to Christian advice. My girlfriend, she'll be able to help me pray. I know that the adult, apart from my mom, who I need to go to for advice. If I need to speak to my mom about anything, I know that she's going to give me unbiased. Because with me, my mom has always told me, she'll tell you the truth. She'll ask, are you here for the truth or you want to be pampered? Because if I'm here for the truth, I'm here. If you want to be pampered, no, it's not me. I'll tell you the truth. So all these actually helps me to know that these are the people I can go to, that no matter how hard life is, even if it's the last breath in me, that these people will be able to give me more life. I know that these people are there to actually sustain me for the longer run. So, and also I've got spiritual father who, if I need anything, actually spiritual fathers, but there's one particular one, Reverend Bento. He's the one I'm always in touch. Prayers, advises me, life advices. I've got other people, other spiritual fathers who gives me life advices as well, life choices that I need to make, because as much as you may think these do not affect my mental health, this does.
Yeah.
Because by these people advising me, what is it happening? It's lifting a burden off my shoulders, because I know who to go and actually solicit for advice, solicit for help, solicit for prayers as well, because these are the people who might be praying for you, but you don't know. These are the people who have mentioned your names, my mentor, who will mention my name in places that I don't even know. Because sometimes some people feel like it's okay and it's nice to be struggling. There is a reward for struggles. I'm like, there is no reward for struggling. Guess what? If it took someone 5 years to make 100 million, and that person is ready to help me to use 1 year to make 100 million, why should I wait to struggle like the same 5 years he did? Am I going to be given the honor and the badge in heaven that you came to struggle for 5 years, therefore you are the good and faithful servant? No, even God does not want to. God actually helps us to go through certain journeys or certain challenges, not just because of ourselves, but because of people around us. A clear example, I was the first person to write GCSEs, which is the General Certificate Secondary Education or something. I forgot the name. Don't put me test to it. But I was the first in the house. There was no one. I was looking for help from people. I couldn't. But when I went through that journey, all my brothers behind me, I made sure that I'm helping them.
Yeah.
To make sure that they don't make the mistakes I did. I'll make sure that the good that I did, I'll share it with them. They can decide to take it or not, because it might not work for them. But all that I'm trying to say is, we shouldn't always be in a society whereby the fact that you have struggled, therefore everybody also needs to struggle. No, maybe God wants you to struggle because all the time the leader has to go through it so that those behind will be able to learn. Some of them might be obstinate, they might be stubborn, they don't want to learn. That one is not it's not your duty. However, if more people are going to be able to benefit from you, for example, my school, during my days in my school of pharmacy, from my second year till I became a pharmacist, it was a whole lot of struggles. But these are the struggles that helped me to be able to give certain advices, unbiased advices, to the people I've mentored, who some of them are going to be pharmacists eventually, right? So it helps me all the time. They appreciate. I said, I don't want you to make mistakes I did, and I don't want you to restrict yourself because I went through this and it didn't work. That does not mean it will not work for you.
Yeah.
Life is for exploration. But if I know that this pathway you have taken is not going to work, sorry, I'm not going to support that. I'm going to tell you right in your face that don't do it.
So Kwame, how can we find you?
I am actually approachable on all my social media platforms. So I'm on Instagram. I am on at the Shelf Conversation Podcast, THESHELF Conversation, CONVERSATION, and podcast. That is on Instagram. On TikTok, I'm available on the Shelf Conversation Pod. It's not podcast, it's pod because TikTok didn't allow me to actually give this long name.
Okay.
And on my personal socials, I'm available on Instagram at Big Kwame, on X, which used to be previously Twitter. I'm available at Big Kwame 5. On LinkedIn, I'm available on Kwame Osei Owusu. I'm not on Facebook. My Facebook account, I can't remember my password, so it was taken. Hopefully, I'll come back to Facebook. But I'm on all these platforms. And if you are actually open for collaboration, any speaking engagements that you would like me to actually be involved, be it speaking, being a moderator,
Yeah.
being an advocate, all these arenas that involve speaking, I am contactable on email at OOK. Sorry, let me start again. OOKShelf, OOKSHELF @gmail.com. So
Yeah.
once you drop your email within a space of 2 days, max, I should be able to reply to your email so that we can actually work. I'm open to collaboration, be it corporate, churches, institution, individual, podcast, anyone who is ready for us to be able to work together and it befits my values. I have to be very, very clear on that because we
Yeah.
talked about values.
Yeah.
If it befits with my values, why not? I'm more than willing to. If it's not, we will see how we can actually manage. If I need to actually make a script for you to be able to work with it, then I'll be able to. And if I will not be able to do it as well, maybe we could actually end up figuring something out. But I'm open to work with everyone in the society because I want to actually be able to utilize and also explore and work with different backgrounds in order for us to be able to achieve a common goal.
All right.
Yeah.
So do you have any events upcoming? Do you have any book whatsoever?
Yeah, so in terms of events and books, I'm in the process. So I came to Ghana to actually do my tour. I'm in the final stages of my tour. I've got about 2 stations that I need to actually visit. I did my roundtable conversation. So keep your eyes on it. It's actually my first ever roundtable conversation that I held, and it was done
I
in Ghana.
congratulated you the last time.
Yes, you
yeah.
did. Thank you very much. My tour has been quite immense, but that is not the end of it. There are more works coming. I am actually embarking. It's your platform. That is my first time saying it.
Yeah.
I'm actually behind the scenes embarking a university tour as well, which eventually I'll bring it to Ghana as well because I believe that that's the next phase. We need to engage the young people. So I'm trying my very best to be able to put resources together and collaborate with everyone who is open. So if there's anyone out there who just falls in line with with what you are planning to do, please, let's start working and preparing. Hopefully next year by this time, we would have actually nailed it. In terms of book, I've got my book. I'm still writing it. I actually worked on that project, worked part of the project last week in Kumasi to actually make some shoots, which I took a memory lane back to where I was born. And it was a very surreal moment. So I can't wait to share with the rest of the world. So there's a lot of exciting stuff. And please, on YouTube, I'm contactable, or you can actually follow the works that I'm doing on at Osei Owusu Kwame. Once you type in my name, all my current interviews that I've actually done will pop up, and also my podcast recordings. Also on Apple and on all the other streaming platforms. Once you type the Shelf Conversation podcast, it should come Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and all the other streaming platforms as well.
So, Kwame, thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
for
Daniela.
being on the Spotlight Show, even though it was within a short
notice.
We've been talking for God knows when, but in terms of you coming on the show, like initially I thought you were the one going to interview me, and then I got
so
confused.
when I actually got that, I'm like, oh my days. So with me, I'm the kind of person that when I send a message and actually I get a reply and I'm like, I think the person was mistaken. I want to be on the phone with the person. I'm like, let me explain properly so that we establish it.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that we will actually establish it. But
I
have, the moment I saw the Spotlight, I have been an avid follower.
You've been following, you've been liking, you've been sharing.
And all that. Because I love
amazing.
listening to newer platforms. As I always say, it is the advice, because life itself is a journey. Someone might have already had that journey I'm about to take. So what stops me from listening to these kind of and I love long drives. And whenever I'm having long drives, these are the kind of fuels that I take for myself to inspire myself to listen, because once you're stuck in the traffic, it's not every day music. It have to actually end up being some life journeys to inspire. And your platform is motivational because it's a spotlight. We've thrown the light on the person. So let them actually say everything they have to.
Let's shake to podcasters supporting podcasters.
That's it. We have to.
Thank you, viewers and listeners. And do not forget to like, subscribe, share the post, and let it be a blessing. And do not forget, you are what you listen to, and it's okay not to be okay.
Yep.
But it's so not okay not to say something, not to share your situation. God bless you. Bye.